All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're going to dismantle a super common illusion floating around the crypto space. So many founders out there think getting featured in major media works exactly like a vending machine, right? You launch a token, you pay some PR firm for an article, you get a flashy headline, and bam, suddenly, magically, everyone trusts your project. But honestly, that is simply not how real media attention operates. Journalists really don't care how much money is spent. What they actually care about is answering one fundamental question. Why should my audience care about this story? So we are breaking down the exact strategy smart founders use to get media attention without buying a single placement. We're uncovering the true mechanics of earned media.
Here's our playbook for today. We'll be covering the earned media illusion, crafting a media-worthy story, maximizing conference PR opportunities, building real media relationships, utilizing the founder as an asset, and finally, creating your own PR system.
Okay, Section 1, the earned media illusion and why PR is absolutely not advertising.
Founders so often fall into this trap, believing that if they just hand over enough money, they'll get coverage. It's that vending machine mentality again, but guess what? That's just advertising. In reality, a journalist's job is not to act as a megaphone for your company. Their job is to report valuable, interesting stories to their readers. If you walk into this expecting an advertisement, you are literally setting yourself up for failure before you even hit send on that email.
I mean, just think about the daily reality for these writers for a second. They are bombarded with hundreds of pitches every single week, and they're all variations of this exact exhausting message. We launched our amazing platform, or our token is revolutionary, or, my personal favorite, our project is going to change Web3 forever. Do you see the fatal flaw here? Literally every single company is saying the exact same thing. If you don't have a real unique story, you are guaranteeing that you'll be ignored. No narrative means absolutely nothing for them to cover.
Moving on to Section 2, crafting a media-worthy story and what actually gets attention. Now, successful crypto PR always starts with a strong narrative. Let's be real, nobody wakes up dying to read that some random protocol just launched another Layer 2 blockchain. That is just a feature. But what happens when you introduce a clear problem and a tangible solution? What if instead you say your protocol solves one of the biggest bottlenecks slowing down blockchain adoption? Boom! Now you're giving the reader an actual reason to care. Suddenly there are real stakes involved.
So here's the crucial takeaway. Your pitch has to fit into one of three distinct categories if you want any chance of it being considered media-worthy. First up, we've got market impact. This means major funding rounds, significant user milestones, or huge institutional partnerships. Number two is industry insight. This is your chance to bring fresh research to the table or explain a major shift in the market. And finally, number three, timing. You've got to launch around important industry moments. Think major Web3 conferences like Consensus or DevCon, big regulation changes, or obvious shifts in the market cycle.
I want you to ask yourself this ultimate PR litmus test every single time you sit down to craft a story. Ask yourself, would someone who doesn't know my company still find this interesting? Really, ask that out loud. Because if the answer is no, well, your narrative just needs more work. You've got to appeal to a much broader audience, not just your internal team or the folks already hanging out in your Discord community.
All right, Section 3, maximizing conference PR opportunities. We're going way beyond just networking here.
Look, journalists are already actively hunting for stories at massive events like Token 2049 or Consensus. You've got hundreds of founders gathered, market trends emerging, and all these industry conversations happening all at once. It's this completely natural media environment. But crazy enough, most founders wait until the event actually starts to do anything, and by then, it is way too late. You see, a conference is actually a full three-phase PR campaign. Way before the event, you need to create your announcement angle and research journalists. While you're there, you're sharing insights and creating these exclusive, memorable moments. And after everybody goes home, that is when you follow up and turn all those great conversations into actual content. So yeah, it's not just a three-day event, it's a deeply strategic campaign.
Let's jump into Section 4, building real media relationships, or as I like to call it, ditch the spam.
It happens way too often. Teams will scrape hundreds of journalists' emails, cross their fingers, and just blast the exact same, completely generic message to every single one of them. Guys, that is pure spam, and it rarely, if ever, actually works. Real PR is entirely relationship-driven. You absolutely have to prioritize understanding the journalist first. Like, what topics do they actually cover? Who is their audience? What kind of stories have they written in the past? We have to stop chasing these cheap, quick hits. The real goal here is not getting one single article published. The ultimate goal is becoming a trusted, go-to source for that writer.
So how do you actually pull that off? Well, instead of begging for coverage with a desperate "please cover my project" email, try an approach that provides immediate, tangible value.
Imagine reaching out and saying something like, "Hey, we noticed your recent article on blockchain infrastructure, and we actually have some fresh data and insights that might help with your upcoming coverage." That shows you've actually taken the time to read their work, and more importantly, it shows you want to make their job easier. And trust me on this, journalists always remember the people who make their jobs easier.
Which brings us to Section 5, the founder as an asset. Because at the end of the day, media connects with people, not faceless companies.
This dynamic makes the founders themselves the single most untapped PR asset in all of Web3. Think about it. If a founder just stands there repeating marketing slogans like a robot, "We're building the future of finance," they are instantly forgettable. Yawn. But if that same founder steps up and shares strong, specific, maybe even a little controversial opinions on industry challenges, like, say, outlining the 3 biggest mistakes preventing institutional adoption right now, suddenly they transform from a walking, talking advertisement into a highly sought-after industry expert. And make no mistake, the media absolutely needs experts. They definitely do not need more advertisements.
Finally, we arrive at Section 6, creating your PR system, the ultimate compounding engine. You'll notice that the biggest, most successful brands in the crypto space aren't necessarily the loudest ones in the room, but they are absolutely the most consistent. They don't just run campaigns, they build a holistic engine. By consistently executing these 5 interconnected steps, sharing those deep industry insights every month, having the founder weigh in on important breaking news, smartly announcing product milestones, strategically utilizing conferences, and just relentlessly building those relationships, you guarantee repeated visibility. And repeated visibility, that is exactly how long-term trust is built in this industry.
Listen, getting media coverage is never ever about buying attention. It's about earning relevance through a compelling story, hitting the right timing, and fostering real, genuine relationships. I want to leave you with this final, kind of provocative thought today. In Web3, attention is always temporary, but credibility compounds. So the question is, are you going to keep chasing those temporary, super expensive spikes in attention, or are you ready to start building your own compounding PR engine right now, way before you actually need it?
Subscribe and visit Web3 Newswire for visibility and credibility of your Web3 projects.